Guess who got brands talking? Brandlive.co.za.
What up? What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Yeah.
How you, T?
I'm alright.
Awesome.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're trying to connect. The Wi-Fi was acting up, eh? And we can't do this show without Wi-Fi. We need to be connected all the time. Yeah.
But we finally connected,
yes.
So we're ready to run with it.
Yes. Welcome to the Geeks Connect show. Remember, this is the show for everyone. For the big dogs, hoof, hoof, hoof. For the small dogs, hoof, hoof, hoof.
Wait, you wanted me to
yes.
do the small dog what?
Yes.
No, let's do it again. For the big dogs, hoof, 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 hoof.
Small dogs, woof, woof, woof. Anyway, this is the show where we connect you to fellow geeks, to users, to makers, to innovation structures, to innovation opportunities, platforms, change makers, industry leaders. And today we have a cool show. Yeah,
today's a jam-packed show focusing on makers. So we're going to find out, and like, what are these makers? What are they making?
Yes.
Are they playing around with wood? Is there anything else that they're doing? I mean, you filled up our office with wood. And so some of us, we think makers is all about having a lot of wood and making sure the office is all woody and what.
Yes, so we're actually chilling with Eduardo from Connect ZA. So we're connecting with Connect ZA today from the British Council. Welcome to the show, Eduardo. Are you good?
I'm doing good, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's based at the British Council. Every time I go to the British Council, I actually feel kind of cool. I always try to feel like my English has to improve, So
just because you're at the British Council?
Yeah, man. So, for an example, the words gonna, words wanna have to stop a little bit for that time, and then make sure that we speak that kind of different language. So
this is South Africa, so you must still maintain the South African language.
Yes. So
when you're in Rome, you must do like the Romans do. So everybody must talk the South African way when you're here.
Yes. So in fact, today we're launching something cool. Geekulcha has been part of the Maker Library Network program with the British Council. We've been working with them since 2015. So for today, this is a special show. Every time Mixo uses the word wanna or gonna, we brought a cup, a special cup. For those of you who are connected on Facebook, you can check out the cup. It has a G on it. Yeah, so every time
I say wanna, I'm a G. Oh, awesome. That's great.
No. Every time you say wanna or gonna, we are adding $10 to this cup, and then we're donating that money to buy a book for a young kid.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll tell you more about the Maker Library Network, talking about books, talking about the make spaces, talking about celebrating human advancement. And today we are launching the Geekulcha Maker Library Network platform. So head on over to geekulcha.com/maker-library.
Yeah, so we're going to drop the link for you guys on Facebook. We're going to drop it on Instagram. On Twitter as well, and you get to see it. So check it out. Let us know what you guys think. Have a look at some of the events that the geeks, the makers, have been doing for the past year or so. How many events are they? How many activities?
For the Maker Library Network, last year we did 42 events all around the country.
Nice.
Yeah, Uppington, the R, Springbok, Rustenburg, Limpopo, Leboa, Homo. We've been to Boksburg, we've been to Free State, doing all kinds of things, trying to grow the Maker ecosystem. Yeah, so speaking of going all over, where were you turning up this week, by the way?
This time around, where was I this time around? Yes, on Tuesday I went to Startup Grind Pretoria, which was quite interesting. Ruth was speaking there. So Startup Grind for this month are doing female founders. So they had Ruth as one of the speakers. She had a good session, telling a lot of stuff, and also about her, what is that app that she does? Ovulation app.
Okay.
Talking about that. So I can't talk about that because I don't know much about that. Yeah, so that's basically what I was doing. What were you doing, T?
I was turning side to side, turning the pages of books I was reading. Remember, we just survived a long weekend, hey?
Yes.
Yeah, we just survived a long weekend. It was exciting. I wish we could go back to it again.
No way, I don't. Eduardo, what were you doing? What were you up to? How were you turning up?
I was also just chilling out. watching movies on Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah, nice.
Anyway, so the Geekulcha annual hackathon, the biggest hackathon in the country, is coming up in July.
Yeah.
GK Hack 17, and we actually have something cool this time. So, in honor of the Maker Library Network, which is an international initiative connecting makers and creatives all around the world, an initiative by the British Council. So, in honor of that, what we are going to do this time is to make sure that we do something cool. We have to give back as geeks. So the entrance fee for GK Hack 17 will be a book. So if you have a book that is just lying around at home, or you can buy a new book for young kids out there, that will be the entrance fee for GK Hack 17. And we're going to give these books to the Geekulcha Vekwerk program, which will be taking place in Gauteng, Northern Cape, and Limpopo. We need to get these future geek stars reading. We need to build that culture of reading,
So basically that's it, guys. It's a big challenge to you. If you got books sitting at home, books that could empower someone, books that you're reading, novels and whatnot, start collecting them, because that's going to be our entrance fee for the Geekulcha Hackathon happening on the 30th of June 2017. So start getting your books ready. And there's lots of stuff coming. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming as a build-up to the hackathon as well.
Yes. We'll talk more. But today, we're just going to quickly go through some of the tech facts. Remember, this time we're focusing mostly on South Africa. What is the South African ecosystem up to in terms of the tech space, in terms of the maker space, in terms of innovation? Last week we profiled. Well, the last week of the show, we profiled Mr. Alan Cormack, one of the pioneers in South Africa behind the X-ray machines back in the days. Yeah.
So tell us our first tech fact, T.
Okay, so in South Africa, believe it or not, we have about 20 maker spaces.
Before we go to maker spaces, I mean, for the listeners out there who don't know what this maker space is, right? What is a maker? Firstly, what is a maker?
So we'll be going through that during the interview. You'll learn more what is a maker, and how they differ from the ordinary people. So they're quite a special species. But then maker spaces are literally physical spaces where people get together, make stuff, and have a sense of fulfillment.
All right, so there's currently 20 of them in the country.
Yes, they range from different types of activities. There are those who are still using traditional form of making, making arts, crafts. Some have gone digital, which is exciting.
Yeah.
We'll be talking more about this as we interview our cool guest for today.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, and number 2, get this. The maker movement began in the US in 2005 and has been in the rise to a national attention. And then in 2014, the White House hosted the first maker fair where people of all ages came together, and then they were building stuff and learning by doing so. Remember, we had a maker fair in South Africa.
Yeah, I was actually about to touch on that. That I think was 2 years back.
2015.
Yeah, 2 years back. There was a maker fair here in South Africa, hosted at the, what's the place?
The Saibono.
The Saibono, yeah. And I mean, there was a whole bunch of makers there. Some guys from Intel as well. What caught my attention was this guy who had his own car, where he made his own car, and they had lots of, it was really something else.
Yes, and one of the other facts about the South African maker ecosystem is that the largest 3D printer, we actually have the largest 3D printer in Africa. It's right here in South Africa by a man known as Mr. Hans Forge. He's a very great friend of Geekulcha. Through the Maker Library Network, we did some projects together, and we actually 3D printed skateboards, which was exciting for us. Just to see a skateboard being printed and of an actual use.
And where is this print?
Sorry?
Where is it?
Yes, so one of them is based in Irene, a place called Makers Republic. You can also find it as Railway Cafe. So it's this cool maker space area. You can go there and make all type of things. They have 3D printers. They've got traditional arts makings. There's live music in there. There's food. So it's a market.
Kinda good.
Yeah. So it's kind of a market space, but then it's a maker space, which is quite awesome.
Yeah, so it's a great spot for makers to actually hang out. But
Yes.
even the as you say, makers is special. But even for us normal human beings, it sounds like a really cool spot to get and see the really cool stuff and crafts as well.
Yes. So right now we're going to go to a quick ad break, and we'll be back after this.
If you're looking for an information technology and communication solution company suitable for your small or medium-sized enterprise, then look no further than Hive ICT. They aim to provide SMEs with the same level of service expected by large corporations without sacrificing the personal relationship they have with their customers. Offering remote and on-site support, as well as IT system design, network design and installations, server and workstation maintenance, and web design, web application development, and more. Visit www.hiveict.com right away.
Have you ever thought about the power of social media? Social media has the power to make your business grow. Grow! Yeah. Why don't you let us manage your social media? Because our business is to see your business grow. Visit us at www.beastownmedia.co.za.
Welcome, guys. We're back.
Yeah. Yes.
We're about to do something really pretty cool. T, can you run us through what's up next?
What's up next is that we'll be sharing some of the cool stuff. Obviously, we have a weekly guest, a cool guest from the industry. Remember, we have brought you billionaires on the show. We have brought you brilliantness. We have brought you awesomeness. We have brought you
Awesomeness.
yes. we have brought you code legends. We've brought you digital marketing legends. All sorts of people, you know. So this is a show for everyone. We try to accommodate everyone. And next week we'll be talking all things fintech and artificial intelligence, which I'm also excited about. But today's focus is all on making and maker spaces. So today we have a very cool guest on the show. It's one of the people that I've always wanted to meet in person. It's a very cool man. It's one of the founders of the Maker Library Network. It's the founder of the Maker Library Network, which is a project by Connect ZA through the British Council here in South Africa. So it's a British Council project connecting makers from South Africa to those in the UK and around the world. And there are more than 15 Maker Library Networks all over the world.
So if you want to check out a little bit about what the Makers Library Network is about, check out the hashtag Maker Libraries, and also have a look at it's Connect ZA, right?
Yes.
Check out Connect ZA, so you'll see that cool stuff that they're doing through the initiatives.
Yes, of course. Do follow at Geekulcha on Twitter, at BrandLive, and then at Connect_ZA. That's the Connect ZA British Council project in South Africa, connecting all makers, doing all sort of works. But we'll talk a little bit more about Connect ZA later with Eduardo here. But now we're interviewing Mr. Daniel Charney from the UK, but we'll let him introduce himself. Hello, sir, are you there?
Hey,
Welcome.
Well,
Morning.
don't know what time are you on?
We are on right now. You're on essay. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
I'm listening in. Really interesting stuff. I love the idea of bringing a book as an entry fee.
Awesome. Yeah, I thought of that myself. Thank you.
Super idea. I think that should be everywhere all the time.
Yes. Okay. Just quickly to the listeners out there, can you tell us who is Daniel Charney?
I'm based in London, and I've been making and drawing and talking to people for a very long time. I've trained as a designer, industrial design, and then started doing a lot of curating exhibitions to think about the things we make. I run a small creative consultancy called From Now On. I teach at Kingston University. I'm a professor of design, and I also, together with a few friends, we run an open source volunteering organization called Fixperts, which invites makers to fix things for others. So combining technology and society. And we host the little films that people make to share these stories online on fixperts.org. So we're a group of people that do projects that use making, sometimes for manufacturing, but many times also for cultural activity. And the Maker Library Network is one of these projects that happened with British Council.
Awesome. You spoke of making. Misho here in the show was also asking, what is this making and who is a maker? Can you quickly educate Misho in studio? Well,
I think the real answer to what is a maker is a human.
Okay.
I think we are makers. It's part of what we are. You know, if we stop making, we might stop being humans. And we might become machines that don't think through making.
So basically,
that's the bigger answer.
Basically, a maker is a person who makes.
Well, I think every person is a maker, really, at heart, in our being. But in terms of people who see themselves as makers,
yeah,
these are people that use making as a central part of their life.
Okay.
They make to think, they make to share, they make to connect, they make to live, they make to survive. These are people who are in touch with this ability, with humanity's greatest resource. And makers is kind of it's an umbrella term for a lot of different types of people, I think. You know, we have people who make every day and they run their farm and they don't call themselves makers. Okay. And we have people who are discovering making through electronics or printing or embroidery for the first time. They're connecting back to their hands and their hearts after being distanced from it in living in cities and buying everything. So makers is a very wide term. It also includes activists who think that making is the only way we're going to survive. It also includes artists who use making to give meaning and explore the way we understand the world. So it's a very broad umbrella, I think, makers. And people who want to see themselves as makers, I think it's in terms of self-defining, they also want to be part of other groups of people and connect. And this is a great thing that we try to tap into through the Maker Library Network.
All right.
Does that answer?
Yes, yes,
no,
yes.
That's actually a good explanation because, well, for most of us, we see tea and the GK makers always playing around with wood and carrying wood here and there. And you see a lot of people think, okay, so to be a maker means you have to be dealing with wood. So it's great to know that a maker is anyone can be a maker. And
I think it's a mindset. You know, it's more like a mindset. It's like when you see things, do you see them as closed or do you see them as open? Is everything around you potentially a material for something else? Do you seek unexpected connections? Do you get stuck or do you find ways around problems? I mean, there is something so deep about the mindset of being a creative problem solver, and making is one of the ways to express and deal with this, you know, and it's just an amazing thing that people forget they have.
Oh yes, you know, you mentioned that some make to bring meaning. I think that's quite so profound as well. And the book, The Power of Making, there's a part where it talks about making, bringing the sense of fulfillment in one's self. You know, so yeah. Can we quickly talk about that book? Actually, it also
the book is kind of a catalog to an exhibition called Power of Making at the Victoria and Albert Museum. It was commissioned from. It was commissioned by the Crafts Council and the V&A Museum in London, and it was an exhibition. Actually, when they asked me to do the exhibition, they had a different title, which was Craft Traces. And it really looked at the. I thought it was a title that was a bit sad, as if something has gone by and left some traces. And also, you know, maybe traces is after something bad has happened. And it didn't feel like capturing the potential of craft, as it is so important and it's everywhere. And people just maybe don't know how deep craft is in industry, how deep craft is in medicine and in surgery, how deep craft is in so many unexpected places.
Oh, yes.
And so this was 2010, and we had a conversation, and I suggested to use the term making. It wasn't a very popular term at that point. That's maybe 7 years ago. It took me 3 months to convince the Crafts Council and the V&A to use the term making in the title. But the reason I suggested it is because this is the thing all the different communities who make share. You know, we share the knowledge of making. And so I tried to find that point, maybe like that thing that connects all the different communities. You know, when you do a drawing, you kind of think, where's the light source? And like if you do the shadows, there's one point that kind of where everyone relates to, and that in a way a vanishing point if you're doing a perspective drawing. And then you get that thing we all share, which is the making process. Maybe we don't share the motivations, maybe we don't share the skills, but we do share this fundamental knowledge that should belong to everyone. And they agreed, and then we wrote this book, and the book was collecting perspectives on making. And so the book includes an article from an anthropologist about the essence of making and how everyone is good at making something. You know, someone's really good at making an omelette, and someone's really good at carving an amazing stone, and someone's good at... And if we connect to that quality that we enjoy in when we make something well, we get that confidence and fulfillment, you know, and seeing that as a possibility in day to day gives you perspective to be able to overcome things, which connects to resilience, really. So making is connected to confidence and resilience and the ability to creatively solve problems for everyone. But for specialists or professionals or experts, making is the ultimate kind of territory where you might discover new things, because if you are very rehearsed and very confident, you forget that you are making, and your mind wanders, and while you're making, you know, or while you're playing a musical instrument, or when you do something you're very good at, you reach that level of tacit knowledge, you know, tacit skill, and you're just flowing. And so the power of making tried to capture and remind us of this human resource. And the book also includes a kind of fiction story, because I think writing and is very much, making is very similar to writing. It's a way of understanding the world. So in the book there is a short story about the messiness of the future of making, which is technology and craft all intertwined.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us now, we are tuned in to the Geeks Connect show. We are interviewing Mr. Daniel Charney. He is the professor of design at the Kingston University in London. He's also the creative director of an organization known as From Now On, and is one of the founders of the Maker Library Network, of which we are talking about today.
Talking about the Maker Library Network, Mr. Daniel, can you tell us a little bit about the Maker Library Network?
Daniel, no, Mr.
All right. Daniel, tell us a little bit about the Maker Library Network with the British Council, and why was it actually started?
The British Council has always done very exciting projects with us, all around connecting people, creative people to each other, and giving platform to creative people to reach wider audiences and be part of local and international culture. And this was what they asked us to visit in South Africa, and that was in end of 2013.
Yes.
And or early 2013, and the idea was to just look at the role of making in how it can connect people. And we traveled as a group, and we came back and we thought, yeah, there's a lot of energy, but people are kind of not making the most of what's going on in the world, and not learning from each other enough, and not being heard enough, and not reaching and not using their creativity for community connection. So we came up with this principle that opens up people's practices, or maker spaces. You mentioned maker spaces before.
Yes.
And maker spaces, I think, are one of the interesting places that could become really important culturally and community-wise, beyond innovation and skills. And this was what we tried to do with the Maker Library Network, is to connect people so they could talk about why they make and what can they achieve with making. So a lot of hackathons and maker networks talk about how to make stuff, and you get instructables and Thingiverse, and you can download and you can learn how to make stuff. But we wanted to introduce the conversation about why we make stuff, and that's what the Maker Library Network is for. It's a kind of add-on to any makerspace.
All right. Can you tell us maybe one book that comes to your mind that motivates you? That you would like to share with our listeners out there?
Yeah, you asked me before. I thought about it, and you know what? I went back to a little book that I really love, which is called Children Solve Problems.
All right.
It's a tiny little book. It's got an elephant on its cover, but it's Edward de Bono who also coined the phrase lateral thinking. And it's kind of the strategies that we use in order to creatively solve problems. And it's a delightful little book that starts with setting challenges, and the children solve them, and then he looks into the way they solve them. That's it. But that's I just recently got another copy for 1p online.
All right.
So, children solve problems.
Children solve problems. Okay.
Is that a good one?
Yes. Thank you. We'll look it up, and we'll post the title on our social media accounts as well.
I was thinking about another one, which is the workmanship. David Pye, the workmanship.
Okay. The workmanship.
Yeah, the nature and art of workmanship.
Oh, yes.
It's a classic, a book on craftsmanship and design, and it's written by a maker. So not a commentator from outside. It's someone deeply rooted, and it cuts through, and it talks about this risk that makers can take when they're in control, when they're highly skilled.
Oh, yes.
So I think it's a very entrepreneurial, innovative condition when you are actually in the process of making, and you have control of your tools, or you understand the materials, and then imagine something goes wrong. Do you stop and start again, or are you able to kind of discover a way forward creatively? And this is the point of risk. But in order to take risks, you need to kind of also have the skills.
Awesome. We're talking about maker spaces earlier on. What do you think are some of the best practices in a maker space?
That's a really good question, because you said there are 20, but there are close to 3,000 around the world maker spaces now, and they come in all kinds of shapes and forms. I think the best practice is for people to be for makerspaces to suit the community they're in, and to have live kind of a peer-to-peer culture. So the studio culture is the most important things, not the tools and not the materials. It's really the culture of that place, so that it fits the needs of the community where it is. So that's the biggest thing. And in terms of practice, that means that there are kind of situations where people can talk to each other, not be in silos, which means a kind of network or a community. And I think a good thing for a makerspace is to sit on as many networks as it can. You know, a good example is Machines Room in East London. They are part of the Maker Library Network, as you know, like you, but
Yes.
they are also part of Maker Mile, and they're also part of Fab City, and they're also part of the Fab Lab, and they're also part of their actual local environment. It's kind of imagine being a connector of different networks, sitting on as many crossovers. And also, I think having a place where people can show and debate beyond just make.
Oh,
So
yes.
showing your work means that you are thinking about what are you part of in the world.
All right.
One last thing is, I think it's really interesting if makerspaces have an identity that, like you, have a focus of which kind of media or industry or which big idea they want to change, whether it's to clean the ocean or circular economy or entrepreneurship or local farming, whatever it is. I think it's really good if a makerspace finds its core identity.
All right. No, those are very valuable points that you have mentioned there. I also share the same sentiments, obviously. But then, from my side, I think the three key things also, obviously, you have to consider the people, you have to know the process, and obviously, you need the tools. And speaking of
Yeah.
tools, what is that one tool that you have always used and that has helped you accelerate your making process?
Well, I was going to say pencil or pen because I,
Oh.
draw all the time. But then I thought, what is for different times, I've had different types of pencils. So I used to love the spot welder.
Oh,
You-
okay.
Spot welder, you just kind of hold the wires in your hand and you weld them, and you can like draw three-dimensional structures. I used to love the bandsaw just to try out ideas because it's fast. You can kind of almost and also ovens. I think ovens change the condition of materials, and you can use them really nicely. I often give the project of making your home into a factory to students, and they have to produce their designs using the objects in their home, the technology in their home.
Alright.
And ovens are always amazing because you can change the behavior of material. So I guess I always look at three ways of making, which is adding things, which is the spot welder, taking away material, reductive process, which is, say, the bandsaw, and shaping, which is like vacuum forming, or in this case, the oven. So there are three ways of making, and I always try to have the combination of these.
Awesome. Daniel, do you perhaps have any last message to our listeners out there? If someone wants to become this honorary maker like yourself, what must they do?
I think the biggest question is, what are you part of?
Okay.
Find out what you are part of. Is your focus on sustainability or economics or innovation of materials? It's like, what are you part of? And then take a position what do you think about what is happening? You know, if you are part of making the world safer, or you are part of making alternative educations, or if you're part of making meanings, what do you think about what is happening, and what is your position and contribution as a maker?
All right. And how can one get hold of you?
Oh, that's easy. Right now I'm really involved in Fixperts.
In
So at Fixperts, which is like a combination of fixing and experts.
Oh,
So
okay.
Daniel at fixperts.org, and we are just really busy trying to get this out there into as many people to become Fixperts and be involved in it. So Daniel, so that's one, and on Twitter it can be Danino at Danino.
Okay.
But Daniel at fixperts.org is the easiest, and anyone that wants to join the Fixperts community and become a Fixpert, fix something for someone, it's a really nice way of connecting to making and to social design.
So Daniel, for the young guys here in South Africa, right, who are trying to make stuff, what are some of the words of inspiration for them that you have for them? What can you tell them?
Think through making. Don't wait. Don't think and then make. Start making from the beginning. Even when you don't know what you're up to, making is a way of figuring it out.
Awesome. That's actually brilliant. Very short and sweet.
All right. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
You too. I really admire what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Using media in a really intelligent, clever, fun way.
Awesome. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Mr. Daniel Charney. Is one of our favorite makers, an honorary maker. We'll share his Twitter accounts and all the contact details. Get hold of him and get inspired. Yeah, so right now we're just going to play a song and then we'll be back.
Thank you. See you.
Oh, he's still there. And we'll be back with you after this.
You're listening to brandlive.co.za.
Welcome back. Yo, that was Ayande Gia. Guys, that song is on fire. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Hoto.
Who Hoto, the song?
I mean the song.
Oh, are you sure it's a song? It's not the person.
Even the person. She's awesome. Anyway, welcome to it. Geeks Connect. We're still here with myself, Tiyani, Mixo, and Eduardo from Connect ZA. Just quickly, can you tell us about Connect ZA, Eduardo?
Yeah, so Connect ZA is the British Council's arts program. Sorry, let me. Hello.
Okay, so Mixo is messing up things in the studio.
So Connect ZA is British Council's art program in South Africa. In South Africa, we're quite unique. We have our own name and kind of branding behind it. So the idea between Connect ZA is that we connect the cultural communities of South Africa and the UK, and that's kind of what we focus on. So even the Maker Library network that you were part of, that was trying to connect maker spaces in South Africa to maker spaces in the UK, but in this case also the network expanded to other countries for other countries. Yeah.
And what type of things do you guys get up to as Connect ZA?
Yeah, so we kind of support what we call like all art forms. So that would be like dance, music, literature, creative economy, which is something that like Maker Library space would fall under, and film. And let me think. I always leave out a few of them, but yeah, I think those are most of them.
All right, and suppose I'm a young artist or a young creative out there, a young designer. What are some of the opportunities available from Connect ZA that I can make use of?
Well, we sometimes have open calls that go out.
Okay.
So last year we had an open call, and that's what a lot of our projects are this year. So we had 13 projects that were selected through an open call. And that was from theater to music to dance. You'll be seeing kind of us putting a lot of information out about those events like throughout the year. And then also our projects often are kind of, we have bigger scale projects, so that we'd also invite the kind of public to come in and take part in the projects. For example, maybe music-based projects where people can come in and kind of have one-on-one time with musicians that are coming from the UK, or also with South African musicians, and have like workshop sessions.
So would you say the Connect Zeta is more for connecting creatives? It's more for connecting creatives?
Yeah, well, we definitely focus. I mean, our audience is generally like 18 to 35-year-olds.
Yeah.
So our audience is much wider, but again, maybe a bit like maker spaces. We also often imagine that our audiences are in general quite creative people. So we also consider our audiences to be like a creative group of people from 18 to 35. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, man. We're enjoying having you on the show. Yeah, it's a cool guy, right?
Yeah. So
like me.
Very cool.
Yeah,
these
man.
guys. All right, moving on. While these guys are talking about how cool they are. So there's one flagship event that you guys have, your Fakugezi, that you guys are involved with. Is it a Connect Zeta event? For those who don't know, is it a Connect Zeta event, or is it an event that you guys are partnering with? And can you tell us a little bit about what Fakugezi is about?
Yeah, well, Fakugezi is a larger kind of festival that the Wits University Digital Arts Department kind of runs. And we as Connect Today, we just partner on the project. So we come in and we do certain elements. Last year, Geekulcha was part of some of the projects. So Maker Library Network was part of some of the program. So you guys were also doing like workshops there and really interesting things. Yeah.
Oh.
You don't remember? It's so far. I guess your guys' schedule is very busy.
Yeah, we're very
a long
busy
time
people.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we were doing like really cool workshops, like building robots and like doing fashion, like short fashion kind of workshops with people. Yeah, so in general, I mean, we work with various different projects.
Yeah.
We are going to be working with Fakugezi again this year, and but generally each year also it changes, because the kind of I'm not the best person to describe perfectly what Fakugezi is. Probably the director Tegan Bristow would be better at doing that, but it's a digital how would you
digital festivals. Last year's theme was African Tech Riot. So be on the lookout for Fakugezi 2017. It will be taking place from the 6th of September until the 16th. So we also have some exciting stuff coming up in that program as well.
Talking about exciting stuff, so there's something being launched today, right? There's something that you are launching today.
No, we already spoke about that. So
for those who missed it,
so Geekulcha was part of the Maker Library Network program. One of the maker spaces, physical maker spaces. We spoke of about 42 events that we hosted all around the country in Free State, Uppington, and all over these places. And what we are doing right now is to have a legacy program for the Maker Library Network. So go check out on geekulcha.com/maker-library.
Yeah, we're just dropping it for you on Twitter.
Yes,
so if you want it,
I wanted to ask, actually, out of this portfolio, like, what would you say was like your most favorite project while you were doing it?
For me, having to travel to far remote areas in Uppington, DR, where we get to do maker activities on a skate park with people who have never used a computer before. I think that's my ultimate program. So Fakugezi as well. Fakugesi was just another chapter that we did. But my favorite event at Fakugesi 2016 was when we went to Soweto and interacted with various people in Soweto. I walked on the streets of Soweto, Twala Street, if I remember well, talking to young creatives. So what touched me the most is that they heard that there were people. There were Fakugesi people coming. Then some of these guys decided that we're going to showcase our work. We need our work to be put out there. We need to be identified. So I think that for me was the favorite Fakugesi event in that regard. But Mega Library Network overall, Uppington and the R2016 rural communities in the skate park. That did it for me. Anyway, so obviously we've got a couple of events coming up. Tomorrow, join us at the Charney Innovation Zone, at the Charney Leadership and Management Academy in Pretoria West. So we'll be doing a meetup for the Open Contracting Innovation Challenge. The challenge is worth $60,000. $60,000. So
it's quite a lot of money.
Yes. So it's a global challenge. Do enter it. There will be 6 finalists. Those 6 finalists at the first round will be getting $5,000 each, plus 3 months of incubation by the Open Data Institute in London, one of our friends and partners that we work with. And after that, the finalists will be invited for a meetup in London, and then they'll pitch at the global stage, Amsterdam, in November 2017. So you'll get to pitch for the ultimate prize as an individual of $30,000. So the Open Contracting Challenge challenges innovators to come up with innovative solutions using data of how to do public procurement, aka the tender system in South Africa. Yes, and on the 16th and 17th, the Security Summit Hackathon. That's one of the events that I'm really looking forward to this year. Building more capacity in cybersecurity, because we need to build an army of online defenders. So a bunch of young developers will be mentored by over 500 participants who will be attending the 12th annual Security Summit. So the hackathon will be taking place in Midrand, here in Gauteng, and in Kimberley. Same time, we'll be broadcasting live to both events. So I'm really, 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 really excited about that.
So there's actually 2 more other events happening this weekend. So if you miss for whatever reason, try not to miss tomorrow. Gold Code is having an event on Saturday to learn about web development, and then on Sunday we usually go to hackathons and we're talking about building. And this time around there's a hackathon called Testathon, where now you're not building, you're actually testing products. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out on Twitter as well. So yeah, those are some of the events that are coming up in the next.
And then on the 19th and the 20th, the Standard Bank is hosting a female technological hackathon. It's called SB Femtech, Female Technology Hackathon for about 60 girls. So this is for females only. We don't want to see Misho there. Misho, please stay home.
So they need a camera person. They need someone to take the camera and do social media. So unfortunately, I wanted to stay away, but I have to be there.
Yes. So go check out the Standard Bank Women Hackathon. It will be happening 19 to 20 May in Rosebank. So that's one of the cool things that we are involved in. Yeah, and the Code Bus. The Code Bus is coming in South Africa. Finland is celebrating 100 years of independence, and they are celebrating through sharing code and teaching others. So some cool technologies from Finland with Nokia are coming to the country. So be on the lookout for
which areas will the Code Bus be going to?
It's different areas in Gauteng. There's Pretoria, Alexandra, Soweto, all these areas, and then it will be Cape Town, and then Kimberley. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, just keep on following everything on Twitter, Facebook, and for updates on what's going on. And if you are doing something really cool, let us know what is it that you're working on. so we can plug it on and let the whole world know what it's about.
Yes, connect at geekculture.com.
Maybe
Eduardo?
I'll do a shout out. This weekend or this Friday starts the European Film Festival.
Yeah.
So there's 13 countries that
Okay.
have films, and it's in Durban, Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Cape Town. So yeah, if you like your films, like, do go out and see some pretty amazing films. Yeah, starting this Friday and finishes on the 14th of May.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have no excuse to be sitting. There's quite a lot happening, especially this weekend.
Yeah, man. We're talking about making today. What is making? What do makers get up to? You know, I always say that women are born makers. Women are born makers. There are certain things that women can do that a man can't do. Like for an example, if we're to put you against a woman and say, "Can you make your bed?" I bet a woman will make the bed much perfect than you.
I tend to disagree, but yes.
Yes, women are born makers, and then baby formulas. Men can't really make baby formulas. That's for women. Women do it perfectly. You know, of course, women also like to make arguments out of anything. You know, my wife asked me, "Why do you always go to these hackathons?" You know, can you imagine? She was making an argument about hackathons. Why do you always go to these hackathons? Why don't you bring these hackathons to our house? I'm like, but honey, we don't have a strong Wi-Fi here. Our Wi-Fi is weak. Last week. You know, she makes arguments out of anything, and of course, we wouldn't be able to feed Mixo at that hackathon.
So feeding me.
Yes.
I've got pictures to prove that we actually eats a lot between you and I, but that's a topic for another day.
Yes. So go check out some of the maker activities. You can check out all the photos and videos on the Geekulcha YouTube channel. Go to Flickr without an e .com. Flickr without an e.com /Geekulcha, and then check out all the cool stuff we have been up to. You'll see all the Fakugesi photos, all the tours around the country, and we have got a lot. In July, I'm looking forward to the Kalahari Desert. That's going to be awesome, eh?
A lot of activities lined up for you. So yeah, just keep on tuning in and listening to the show, checking us on Twitter as well for all the updates. For those who are always asking what's happening, follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and you get to see everything. There's quite a lot that's happening. Just stay tuned to everything.
Yes, I think that's it for today's show, eh?
We done.
Yeah.
Cool.
See you next week, guys. I mean, tune in next week.
We'll see them, or we won't see them.
Yes, we'll see some of them. So
They'll see us.
Next week, Miss Jayashree Naidu joins us in studio live as well. So we are looking forward to that as well.
Nice.
Live from 27 Boxes in the heart of Melville, this is brandlive.co.za.